Few things make me more irritated than predatory marketing practices when it comes to our health. You've seen late night infomercials, you've seen claims on TV and social media of things that you know are just too good to be true, but maybe you've seen your grandparents or somebody else buy them hoping for a miracle cure, and all they did was lose money. So when I saw this video come up on TikTok a while ago, I was incensed. It made me so angry because this company has come out with a vitamin that they claimed rivals Accutane. And I'm gonna tell you what it can actually do, what it can't do, and the risks that they completely gloss over in their comments.
We just launched a vitamin. It rivals Accutane.
I'm gonna stop you right there before we go on. To say that it rivals Accutane would require a head-to-head study that is double-blinded, placebo-control, all of this stuff. You'd need to have a group of patients taking Accutane. You'd need to have a group of patients taking their supplement, and ideally you should have another group of patients taking a placebo, and the patient shouldn't know which one they're getting, the doctor shouldn't know which one they're getting, and you should have a defined outcome, which is going to be clearance of acne lesions, what percentage of clearance, what the time is to clear it. So right here I can tell you that I'm mad because they're claiming it's a rival to Accutane in a mock podcast. Maybe it's a real podcast. I don't know. Let's go on with the video.
Basically, yeah, it's
people.
Vitamin A. It's a lot of anti-inflammatory, liver support, digestion support, and so it's basically a natural version of Accutane.
A lot of just nebulous terms, again, claiming it's a natural version of Accutane. Calm down, Dr. Portela. Calm down.
People with acne, but it also has glutathione, some other skin brightening aspects in it too. It has a good combination of other supplements you might like break apart in different forms.
The video itself got me upset enough that they just made a claim that this rivals Accutane or that it's a natural alternative to Accutane, because those are medical style claims that you cannot make unless you have done studies and you have submitted the data to the FDA and you have received approval to make those kind of claims. The vitamin and supplement industry is not regulated in the same way as the pharmaceutical industry. And so people that make supplements have to be very careful about the claims that they make. They cannot actually claim to treat any specific condition. I know that a vitamin company can't make this claim, and I am betting that they didn't do the study, but we're gonna actually look at the comments that were posted on this video and how the company responded. So many people were asking what kind of research or studies they have done. So we're gonna look at the comments here. Comment here, have you guys done any clinical trials? We are currently running studies, but there is a lot of research on each ingredient on its own. So basically, no, they haven't done any clinical trials. When they say they're running studies, that can just be they're giving it to patients and the patients are reporting back what kind of improvement they got. Technically, that's a study, but that's not a clinical trial. And it's such a cop-out to say that the ingredients have their own research. Yes, if you Google vitamin A, you're going to find data on vitamin A treating acne. And I'm gonna pull a study for you and we're gonna go through it. You cannot infer anything about that ingredient in their particular supplement because they may be getting it from a different manufacturer. They're giving it at a different dose. The results are not just brush stroke applicable to every circumstance that you might give that supplement. Link the studies, please. We encourage you to read the published study at Harvard on the toxicity of Accutane. I did a Google search for this and I could only find something from Harvard that was a law review article that basically went through the history of Accutane as it's developed and the lawsuits that have been leveled against the original manufacturer Roche. But it was not like a fully done research study. It was a law review article. If somebody knows what this link is, just drop it in the comments and I'll gladly review it on another video. But the only thing that I found that had Harvard in it was a law review, not a study. And as a dermatologist, I'm acutely aware of the potential risks and benefits of Accutane, and they're not actually speaking to any of those. The next comment here is, I'd like the studies that support claims about your vitamins, not ones about Accutane. That's an excellent question. You should have the data on your own supplement. And then another comment, so you guys don't have any studies supporting your vitamin. That is clear. They don't have any studies supporting their vitamin. They looked at a bunch of ingredients that they thought would be helpful and they threw them all in one pill and they are marketing that. Do you participate in third-party testing to ensure the supplements contain the ingredients you claim? I cannot easily find information about third-party testing on your website. This is a great question because, again, the FDA does not regulate the manufacture or sale of supplements. And so the only way to validate that the right amount is in the capsule is usually through independent testing, and there's a couple of big organizations that offer this, but it has to be voluntary. The companies that make the supplement have to pay these companies to come in and do the testing so that you can validate that, yeah, it says it's got this much vitamin A, it actually has that much, and it's consistent across batch to batch to batch. So they say, we are currently in the process. We test everything ourselves to make sure it's consistent and up to our high standards. Every company that makes a supplement is going to tell you, we do a good job. I promise. Just trust us. Research number 4 here. Does this cause skin purging? I received this and have been consistently using for 2 weeks now and have had the worst hormonal cystic acne breakdown. They say our supplement isn't known to do that. It's likely being caused by something else. How would they know that if they haven't done any studies to know of potential side effects? Again, this is something our supplement couldn't be doing anything wrong. It must be you. I think this is a cop-out. This is not okay. The next thing that I saw as a theme in their comments was on the question of side effects, because everybody knows that Accutane does have the potential for side effects, particularly dry skin, dry lips. Some people get dry eyes. There is a risk of headaches. Some people get upset stomach from taking Accutane. Some people get achy. They get joint pains or muscle aches. I personally think that just about any drug in the world can cause just about any side effect in the right individual. But on a population level, we can't support that claim that Accutane causes inflammatory bowel disease or that it causes depression. But we can certainly find case reports that seem to make that case. So the data is a little bit murky there, but the best data that we have say that there's no correlation. Are there any side effects? No side effects, they say, but we do suggest to stop taking it a week before any laser procedures, as vitamin A can cause skin sensitivity. Again, they haven't done any studies to know if that's going to be the case with their supplement, so they're just making a blanket statement without data to support it. Does it have the same mental health effects as Accutane? I had to stop Accutane because I wanted to unalive myself. It says no, not at all. It actually has 5-HTP to boost your mood. So now we're throwing in another ingredient that is a precursor to tryptophan that is used to make serotonin that can help to boost your mood. And while there is some data on 5-HTP and mood boosting, it's not something that can be taken for everyone. There are reports of people taking 5-HTP and getting headaches, nausea, upset stomach, even worsening their mood. So they're just making a claim here and they don't actually have data. They're using what is a lot of data around 5-HTP to say, this is going to be good, let's throw it in there. The next theme here is who can take their supplement. A lot of people were asking, can I take it? Can this type of person take it? Let's see what they say. Can men take this too? Yes. It can be taken by anyone looking to heal acne at the source. What is the source? What are they actually getting at? How would this heal acne at the source with its predominantly vitamin A ingredient? Can this be taken by someone who gets back acne and does get bad breakouts, but isn't all as bad as those who would take Accutane, like Add-2 daily? Yes, it's actually great for body acne as it targets acne at the source. We also recommend checking your body products for pore clogging ingredients. So again, it's your fault if you're getting acne, you're using the wrong products. And then this comment, I like Elise Daly. How does it target acne at the source? She was all over the comments calling them out on this BS. Can teenagers use this? Yes, they can. Everyone's situation is different, so we suggest discussing it with your primary doctor if you have any questions. This is probably the most intelligent thing that I've seen them say in their comments, is that you should talk to your doctor before taking this supplement. Is there an age range? My daughter is 13. While we do not specifically test on teenagers, yes, Mind Body Skin can be extremely helpful for teen acne and hormonal swings. So now it's not only going to help the acne, it's going to eliminate mood swings for your teenager. But didn't they just say that they don't test on teenagers? And in the comment before, they said everyone can use this. So again, we're getting inconsistency here. We recommend that you run it by your family doctor to check for any specific contraindications they may know of given any unique family history. We also encourage you to look up the ingredients so you and your teen can learn about what they do. So again, you got to go do the research. They're not going to supply you with that. They haven't done any studies. This is just so frustrating to see. So they haven't tested on teenagers, but teenagers can take it. It's going to help their acne and it's going to improve hormonal swings. My 14-year-old was recently put on Accutane, and I've been looking for an alternative so he doesn't have to take that poison. This could be a great alternative. That is a recommendation that's a little scary to make because they don't know this patient. They don't know what kind of acne that this 14-year-old has. They don't know if the Accutane is the best treatment or not. They're just saying, ours is going to be the best alternative. Can you drink while taking this? Can you drink alcohol while taking this? Yes, it's just a blend of vitamins, digestive enzymes, 5-HTP, DIM, and turmeric, so it will actually help with hangovers. We're getting another claim here that this is going to be something that helps with hangovers. They have 20,000 IUs of vitamin A in this product, which is metabolized through the liver, and they're telling you can drink alcohol with this, which is going to be metabolized by your liver. I think this is, again, a risky claim to be making because you don't know how much that person might be drinking. You don't know the effect or how much they're taxing their liver with alcohol. You don't know what else their diet is doing. So to say, yeah, definitely take our supplement, it's going to help you with hangovers. Does that mean this person can now drink more because they're just going to take the supplement and think that they'll have no consequences from their alcohol binge? Would this help with hormonal acne? Yes, that's the main reason we created it. So now they're making a claim that it will help not with just cystic or papular-pustular acne, but also hormonal acne. Again, they're making a claim to treat a medical condition with a supplement. This is outside of the purview of a supplement company. So does this stop oil production like Accutane? Yes, the vitamin A will work in the same way, but it has a blend of other supplements to heal acne from the inside out. How does it do it any different than Accutane? Accutane reduces oil production. It heals acne from the inside. You're literally taking a pill. Why is your supplement any better? Will I break out from this if I start? I'm interested in buying it, but I don't want to break out. So they're talking about a purge, something that can happen when you start Accutane. It's not a very common thing, but there are unique circumstances when people's acne will get worse when they start Accutane. It won't break you out. Initial results of your skin clearing up can be felt after 1 week, with full effects kicking in at week 3 to 4. So how do they know it's going to work at 1 week? How do they know you get the full effect at week 3 to 4 when they haven't done any studies? They have no published data. Didn't work for me. About 95% of people see progress with mind-body skin. We've troubleshooted the few who didn't and found they are still using pore clogging products. Check out your products against our ingredient list on the website. So again, they're providing a data point here. 95% of people see progress. What is progress? What is the lesion reduction? How do you have that data when you haven't run studies? So this is something that's so frustrating to me, that they're blaming you for having acne and their product is the miracle cure. You can't just make a natural version of Accutane. I agree. Juliana, I agree. Our supplement is a blend of vitamin A, anti-inflammatories, liver and digestive support. What does that mean? It can be taken by anyone to help heal acne at the source. That doesn't mean anything. You're just giving us a bunch of, word vomit, garbage words and saying anybody can take this supplement and it will heal acne at the source. You're not defining what that means. You are selling, you are marketing. Would this be good to take after Accutane, my Accutane course ends, to keep up the vitamin A effects? Yes, you can transition to this as a gentler alternative. Now, I agree that the dose of vitamin A in their supplement would be a more gentle alternative to acne, but again, they're basically making a recommendation to a person that if I made this recommendation on social media, it would be considered medical advice, yet they're doing it. Do you take this as a 4 to 5 month cycle like Accutane, or is it vitamin to take continuously long term? Our supplement can be taken as needed or wanted, as it's designed to help with full body wellness, so there's no need to cycle. So that's fine if they want to say this is meant to be a daily supplement, but they don't have studies, they don't have data, but it kind of makes more sense that this would just be a daily vitamin type thing that you would take. I guess I'm less upset about this answer than some of the other things that we've seen. Does this work for teenage boys? Yes, our supplement works for anyone struggling with acne. They didn't test it on teenagers. They already told us that. Pregnancy. This is a big concern with Accutane. Accutane is teratogenic. If you take it while pregnant, it will cause birth defects 100% of the time. If you are somebody who can bear children, you have to get a pregnancy test every month. And you're required to be on 2 forms of contraception. And there's different ways to achieve that, whether it's birth control pills, an IUD, whether your partner has a vasectomy and you use condoms, there has to be 2 forms of birth control. Any pregnancy concerns, we always recommend asking your doctor if it's right for you. That is the most intelligent answer that they have given. Does it have the crazy birth defects that Accutane has? This answer is flat out wrong. Not at all. Our acne supplement is a completely natural blend of DIM, 5-HTP, digestive enzymes, L-glutathione, dandelion, turmeric, and vitamins. So they're claiming that their supplement does not have the potential to cause birth defects. They told the other person to ask their doctor if they should take it in pregnancy, and they're telling this person it doesn't have birth defects. I'm going to show you some data that says otherwise. Does it cause the same birth defects as Accutane? There's a reason it's so highly monitored and closely managed. This is scary to me. Not at all. It's a natural supplement, although we do recommend discussing with your doctor before taking if you are pregnant. Again, they're claiming not at all. Does this cause the same birth defects as Accutane? Not at all. This is incorrect. High-dose vitamin A also will cause birth defects. It is teratogenic, and it actually has a longer half-life than Accutane. So if you're taking high-dose vitamin A to manage acne, you should wait 3 to 4 months before attempting to become pregnant because it stays in your system that long. Accutane has a much shorter half-life, and so it's only recommended to not get pregnant for 1 month after completing a course of Accutane because it gets out of your system much faster. Those are all the screenshots that I got from the comments. Those are the answers that the brand posted. Now I want to give you the actual data on vitamin A and acne management, because in 2022, a group did a review of all of the studies that were available online for managing acne with vitamin A. So this comes from the Dermatology Online Journal. This is from UC Davis, Madison Cook, Patrick O'Pirsch, and Stephen Feldman, who's a really well-known dermatologist out of Wake Forest. So essentially there were 9 studies that were using vitamin A to manage acne. Some of these go back all the way to 1943. But since the development of Accutane or isotretinoin, there's been much fewer studies done on the management of acne using vitamin A because Accutane did such a better job. In all 9 studies, acne improvement was the outcome measure, but in all of the studies using vitamin A, only 2 of them mentioned complete clearance of acne. When we use an appropriate dose of Accutane to manage acne, the results of complete clearance are about 85%. The relapse rates for vitamin A management of acne were comparable to the rates of isotretinoin. So the relapse is you finished your course of Accutane or vitamin A, and when did the acne start to come back? So it ranges from about 20 to 40%. Usually, if you've completed a course of Accutane and your acne starts to come back, it's much less severe than it was before. You get mild acne back. It's not the case for everybody. It was also noted here that vitamin A, in the studies that they reviewed, were more efficacious for the treatment of facial acne as compared to truncal acne. So back acne. They had a comment talking about how this is great for acne anywhere, but the data actually suggest that using vitamin A to treat acne is much better for the face than it is on the body. It just doesn't work as well on the body. Now, it's important to note that vitamin A and Accutane have also not been studied head-to-head, so we don't have a trial between those 2 in a double-blind placebo-controlled trial. Now, here's another important note. When we look at the ingredients of this supplement in question, what we see here is that they have vitamin A as retinol palmitate at 6,100 micrograms. So if we convert that to international units, it's roughly 20,000 international units of vitamin A. Then they have vitamin B12, pantothenic acid, 5-HTP, that's the mood boosting supplement, a proprietary digestive blend, so we don't know the percentages of those ingredients that are in there. So the main ingredient that they're using here to treat acne is going to be vitamin A at 20,000 international units per dose. So in the studies that they reviewed, where investigators were looking at vitamin A for the treatment of acne, the ranges that they were treating with ranged from 36,000 international units all the way up to 500,000 international units of oral vitamin A. So the lowest dose in any of these trials that was looked at was 36,000. That's almost double the dose in this supplement that we're looking at, the Mind Body Skin supplement. 5 of the studies, so most of the studies, looked at a dose of 100,000 international units daily. The studies that used a higher dose, like 300,000, had a response that was considered excellent or good in 90% of patients. So that was qualified as a 50% reduction in acne. So we can see that in completing a course of Accutane, the success rate is about 85% of patients that will clear their acne. All right, let's look at safety and laboratory monitoring data when it comes to vitamin A. 6 of the 9 studies on oral vitamin A included in this review reported side effects during treatment. Wait, there are side effects? Side effects included cheilitis, so that's dry lips, xerosis, dry skin, epistaxis, nosebleeds, headaches, and abdominal pain with benign elevations in triglycerides and liver enzymes. Gee, that sounds an awful lot like the same side effects in Accutane. There are side effects that you might want to be aware of. In one clinical trial, a patient with epilepsy noted that her epilepsy worsened while receiving only 40,000 IUs daily, but resolved with the discontinuation of treatment. That seems like a pretty big deal. Don't you think that people ought to know that vitamin A might make some of their other conditions worse? But we're told that their supplement is completely safe. Let's get to another concern of chronic vitamin A treatment, hypervitaminosis A syndrome. Vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning that if you consume more than your body needs, your body will store that in fat stores, and you can overdose on that. So symptoms of hypervitaminosis A include hepatosplenomegaly, that's enlargement of your liver and spleen, edema or swelling of your legs, your arms potentially, lymphadenopathy, that's swollen lymph nodes, fatigue, so you might get more tired, emotional lability, so that is where we get into potential mood swings, bone pain, muscle pain, and headaches. So all of those things can happen with high-dose supplementation of vitamin A, and somebody who's particularly susceptible could experience that at even lower doses. Now, what the investigators that did this review said is that baseline and monthly pregnancy tests are also required, as in vitamin A, like isotretinoin, is teratogenic. In their comments, they said that this does not cause birth defects like Accutane. But we know, and we have the data to show, that high-dose vitamin A supplementation is potentially teratogenic. And so to make that claim is very concerning. Also, when talking about the half-life, when we're still on this topic of pregnancy, the half-life of vitamin A is considerably longer, around 12 days. Therefore, it may be prudent to recommend being off vitamin A as a treatment for at least 3 months before considering pregnancy. And then again, the half-life of isotretinoin is 24 to 29 hours. And so we only recommend that patients are off of it for 1 month because it's completely out of the system. In reality, after like 2 weeks, but a month is a much safer estimate. One benefit to taking vitamin A over Accutane is cost. Vitamin A is so much cheaper than Accutane. So the Mind Body Skin Hormonal Acne Supplement is $58. So for $58, you're going to get 90 capsules. They recommend taking 2 to 3 capsules with a meal. It says it does require food because vitamin A, just like Accutane, is fat soluble. You're going to absorb it better if you take it with food, particularly fatty foods. Accutane is still more expensive, but if you're just taking plain vitamin A, you can get that for a lot less money. In review, this company may have a great supplement, but they haven't done studies to prove it. They're only relying on published data of the ingredients on studies that they didn't do. They were very cavalier in the comments that made claims that bordered on medical advice and got into territory that I personally think could be dangerous. They're making claims that anybody can use this, that it'll help to improve the hangovers, that it's not going to cause birth defects, that it's going to help with face and back acne. I'm just very concerned that these are predatory marketing practices to get you to avoid seeking actual medical advice from a board-certified physician in lieu of purchasing a supplement that they are charging a fair amount of money for. I think they need to do better. I think they need to take responsibility to actually do clinical trials and studies on this supplement. On their TikTok page, they make a lot of claims that are very nebulous, not only around this, but in acne in general. I'd love to see them actually use a dermatologist to validate their claims. Be so careful when you're shopping for supplements to treat acne or really any health condition, because these types of concerns are not unique to this company. There's a lot of companies that make claims that don't do research, that don't provide data, and they're out there looking to make a quick buck. Let me know what you guys think about this particular supplement, and if you stayed for the whole video, thank you so much. I spent a lot of time researching this, doing the screen grabs, looking for data to actually provide you with good information, and hopefully you'll make more informed consumer decisions when it comes to your own health. I'll see you guys on the next video.